to the channel. I don't know if you notice a difference in that opening scene. It used to say David's Outdoor Adventures, but I was not getting enough exposure with that name just because David is a very common name, and then a lot of people do have Outdoor Adventures as their either their title, their channel name, or just it's just very common. So nothing about it was unique. So I am changing my name to Challis Adventures. Challis is my last name. I am Mien. That is from my ethnicity. I think that's what you call it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, let's dive into what happened. Angel and I just got back from a Idaho trip. We spent a week out there. Our first 3 days we spent backpacking. However, on the third day, when we got back to our base camp, I screwed up. I left the GoPro charging open, so the door was open and it was charging and it was facing up. So it did rain a lot that night, the first night we came back. But let me explain to you guys how the trail went, and then I'll add in some clips here and there, and then we'll just go from there. The reason being that I don't have any clips is that the SD card got ruined pretty much. So let's dive into this. Alright guys, so we started this trail at the Broad Canyon Campground and Trailhead, which is going to be right here. Let's see if I can move this around the map. Alright, okay. Doesn't look like I can move anywhere on the map just because I'm doing a screen recording. But we started here. Our elevation gain was starting at 7,800 feet, and this is how the trail pretty much went. After the first mile, it wasn't so bad. We didn't gain that much elevation. The second mile, still probably less than 1,000 feet of elevation gain. This is where it started to hurt. At the 3 mile mark, we were going uphill most of the way from there. It was a lot of incline and a lot of switchbacks. We did jump up like 1,000 feet in less than a mile. From there, once we got to the 4 mile mark, we were at 9,300 feet. And then once we got to this junction right about here, a little under 5 miles, 9,700 feet, starting at 7,000 and some change, that for Angel and I, we're not like advanced hikers. We like to hike, but we do this casually. So, but one thing about this trail is that we did not follow the way that it was designed, just because we wanted to set up camp here at Baptiste Lake. It's not gonna let me move it. Okay, yeah. So we set up camp at Baptiste Lake. We got there pretty late. It took us about 8 hours just to get up there. But we set up camp, and then we did some fishing for a couple hours. I was not able to catch any golden trout. There is golden trout at Baptiste Lake. Angel did catch 3, I believe, that first night. And then, we had dinner, went to bed. It was really windy, a little wet, but not a big issue. The next morning, I got up to a late start. Angel was up at like 7. He already caught another golden trout that morning. I gave it a shot. Did not hook up. Even the night prior, I was getting some falls, but nothing really committed. But yeah, after breakfast and everything, we went up to Goat Lake. We spent a good amount of time at this lake. We caught so many cutthroat trout. I cannot tell you how much cutthroat trout we caught. We started from this little section right here, and we just worked our way around the lake all the way. We probably spent at least maybe 6 or 7 hours just going around this whole lake. And then we headed back to camp. The one reason we didn't head up to Betty Lake from Goat Lake is because this little section right here, you're crossing over a ridge that's really steep. I don't know what the elevation gain is right here, but it was just way too steep for the both of us. We were still sore just hiking all the way up there. So what we did that night is that we hiked back down to Baptiste. Our camp was still set up. We spent the night there. And then on our way back, we were going to head back the next day. So the first day we spent at Baptiste Lake. Angel caught most of the golden trout there. The second day, we spent most of the day at Goat Lake. We caught a lot of cutthroat trout. And then on the third day, we were going to hike back down. But we also wanted to stop at one more lake called Clear Lake. I believe it was right about here, I want to say. I can't really zoom in that far because I'm not going to be able to move it. But as we were going down Baptiste Lake, we decided to go across this little rock scramble right here. So it saved us some time instead of going all the way down and hiking back up. So you're losing elevation and you're going to be gaining elevation back up. So we cut across that, probably like 30 minutes, saved us a lot of time. And then once we got to the junction right here, there was a junction there. You either go left towards Betty Lake or go right and follow the Jarvis Trail back down. So what we did was that we went left, we went to Betty Lake, and we had another great day fishing for cutthroat trout. One thing about this lake is that we only fished along this side just because we wanted to hit one more lake on the way down. Probably spent like 2 hours there. And we did have a nice lunch. We had
This is some Japanese curry with some potatoes and veggies.
Noodles with some pork, pulled pork, I guess. Oh, that reminds me. I did not mention, around here, somewhere right here, we caught a cutthroat trout and it was bleeding pretty bad. So I did have that for lunch on the second day. Fast forward, third day, we're fishing at this lake. I spent about 2 hours and had lunch, and we headed back down. And then we stopped at Clear Lake on our way down. I believe Clear Lake is right about here. This is probably Bench Lake, and then Clear Lake was just right here. It's a very small lake. You can spook the fish very easily. The lake is really small. It's categorized. I would categorize this as a pond, but it's called Clear Lake. You can see all the way to the bottom. Lots of cutthroat trout here as well. Angel and I probably caught between about 20. There were some decent sized ones in there. We spent probably like another hour or so, maybe 2 hours just fishing here. And then we worked our way down and went down the Jarvis Trail. Where is the Jarvis Trail? I can't really tell. We went back down the Jarvis Trail. It was mostly downhill for the rest of the trail from Clear Lake, but it just felt extremely long. Angel and I was not ready for that. Lots of switchback going down. So in the end, we did hike a lot in the span of 3 days. For us, we did hike a lot. We probably did maybe a little under 14 miles. I know this down here says 12.3 miles, but that doesn't include us walking around the lakes, doing some fishing and whatnot. So, that's what we did for the first 3 days. Unfortunately, I did ruin the GoPro, so I don't have any footage of it. But I do have some footage from portraits, from our phones and stuff.
Alright guys, that's all I have for you for this clip. It was short, it was sweet. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the upcoming videos, it will be shot on my GoPro. I did have backup SD cards, so you will be seeing us catch fish. You will be seeing us, explore more of the park. The National Forest. We will be hitting different creeks. And stick around and you'll find out what happened. Enjoy these short clips. These are clips from us driving, and they were shot on our phones. So, yeah.
just ended our backpacking trip. Can't even speak right now, but that was 4 miles from where we last were. Alright, bye-bye.